On in.
Bunch of puppets. It's all your favorite streamers collabing with Mr. Beast.
Here, can you hold up?
Alright. This is the new Holly Weird,
Come on
Holly
in.
Net.
No. They're all real.
That's Agent. You got Lacey.
I'm about to trap your favorite streamer inside of this cube. And whichever one leaves last will win this $1 million in cash for your
Oh, shit.
It's obvious from Lacey Pod. I don't see nobody else.
Say goodbye to your viewers. Next time you see your streamer, they might be giving you $1 million in cash. So everyone say your...
Don't this guy give like Squid Games? We're gonna run social experiment. You think Mr. Beast is your fellow local? You think, bro? You think Mr. Beast worked hard to get them millions of views? Them billions of views on YouTube? You think he just cracked the algorithm? Why isn't there another Mr. Beast then? Oh, nobody can do it like Mr. Beast the way he gets his numbers. Shut up. Y'all think Jeff Bezos made Amazon out of his garage, didn't y'all? Go look at his family. Who is Mr. Beast related to? This is what we need to figure out. Because he partnering with Rockefeller and all your favorite streamers still hanging with him.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to mighty Aki and Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawakau coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this whole things that people do for money, and I think that this is something that like the dude said, it's this whole like Squid Games type thing where people are willing to kind of compromise their morals for entertainment and the such. And it's something that I think is really not necessarily like, well, yes, it is definitely evil, and we've actually seen this, but in how they do, what's it called, those I don't know if you heard about it, but I think there was this one time, there was this video or something like that where the Queen of England, one of the queens of England or whatever, was feeding homeless Africans as if they were like birds or something, by tossing food at them and stuff like that, like in a disrespectful way. And I thought, like, this is the type of stuff that Esau likes. He likes to treat people like entertainment. And people, Jake is one of the ones that are also all about this, where they say, oh yeah, I would do anything for money. I would do whatever for $1 million and stuff like that. And people are always like justifying and saying, oh, I'm just doing it to get my money up, my bread up, my this, that, and the third. And it's such a ugly thing to think about, an ugly thing to say, where you're willing to sell out your morals, which, by the way, that's really where, for the most part, people kind of think. That's where people think about it, in the sense of coming out the trenches. And even then, when it comes to what's it called, like Terry Crews, for example, he basically explained that, where at the time, when in the start of his career, he let that dude humiliate him and stuff like that by sexually assaulting him. And people now, they're saying now that, oh, you this, that, and the third, you're a big dude, you could have done X, Y, and Z or whatever, but you didn't do it. But yet the issue about them saying that is that he was saying that, well, when you are a struggling actor or whatever, you don't get much opportunities or roles, then you just go along with whatever these people are doing, because you don't want them to take away your stuff from you. And even now, I haven't even seen Terry Crews in anything outside of the roles that he already had prior to him coming out with those stuff. And I think that, like, as a result of that, people don't want to really work with him. And again, like, this is the type of stuff where these people conform to the stuff that's going on. They conform to it. They allow themselves to be humiliated in order to stay in the good graces and stay on these people's good side. Yet you are, you're selling out your beliefs for money. All right, because if that's the thing, like, you setting that boundary, and it also, to be fair, all right, he definitely would have been blackballed early on, and maybe he might not have had as big a career as he is now. All right, maybe not. I don't know. All right, but still, the key thing is that if you as a person, you should not be willing to just accept anything or accept people doing stuff like you, like doing this stuff to you for money. And the key thing is that, say for example, if someone said, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you eat this pork, and it's just like, okay, well, that's $1,000, I'm obviously going to do it. All right, like it seems like something that's so minuscule and minute, but for us Israelites, serving Yahawadah should supersede anything that seemingly. Let me actually get that because I wanna. What was that dude's name? I think it's Eleazar. Wait, it was in the Maccabees. Hold on, bear with me one moment. I'm trying to think. Alazar, pork. I put the wrong fucking thing, Slakia. That would have been terrible. Slakia. But anyway, Alazar, pork, Mac. So in the Maccabees, so here, basically what happened here, I'll read it, obviously. Eleazar, so Slaki, that's his name, Eleazar. So, Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 18, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live strained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment, as it behooved them to come, that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted. Bear with me. There's one more thing. And basically what happened was that what happened with him was he was able to deceive the people, and he could have said, oh well, I'm eating pork, but in actuality it was swapped out with like beef or chicken or something like that, something that was actually lawful and permissible. But the fact of the matter is that even if he swapped it out with pork, or I mean not pork, swapped the pork out with beef or whatever, if he had done it and said I ate pork, then the other Israelites would have saw him and said, okay, so since Eleazar is eating pork to save it, to preserve his life, then we all can do it too, because he's setting the example for us. But so as a result of that, he said, okay, you know what, forget that, because if people see that I am eating pork in order to save my life, then they're going to do the exact same thing. So as a result of that, I'm going to just say, forget it. I will accept the punishment so that people know that serving Yahawadah is more important than than trying to avoid anything that these people can do to us. All right. So bear with me. So while I actually find it, because I want to get the actual precept that says it. here. Okay, here. Finally, I found it. So here, Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 20. 22, that in doing so, that in so doing, Slakia, he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly as became his age. Okay, Slakia, let me read verse 21. But they had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance that they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provisions, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. So basically, as I was saying, they were saying that, hey, let's come to the side, let's talk in secret. And basically, we're saying that, instead of eating pork, you don't have to eat pork. What we will do for you, we will let you eat pork or not pork, beef or literally anything else, beef or anything else, and then you don't have to worry about actually breaking the law. But as long as other people see that you are just agreeing with us, then everything's going to be fine and stuff like that, or we'll let it slide. And then verse 22, that in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray hair, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by Yahawah. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightway to send him to the grave. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to disassemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years and 10, were now gone to a strange religion, and so they, through mine hypocrisy, desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age, and make it abominable. So basically, what he was saying is that, again, as I already had explained, he was given the opportunity to eat. You can eat beef, but just lie and say that it's pork. But instead of accepting that, he said, "No, I'd rather just die, because I'm not gonna go and tell my people you guys can eat pork. Look at me, I'm doing it, and then have them disobey YAHAWASHI." As a result of them following the example of Eleazar, which would have been a stain with on his relationship with YAHAWASHI. So he just had to have died, because if he just ate it, then of course he would have been, oh yeah, that's fine, good with you, good with that, good with the people that were threatening him, but that wouldn't have been good with YAHAWASHI. So he just accepted death, and then okay, YAHAWASHI is going to have favor in him. All right. Now, continuing on, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and every man that striveth for mastering is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible, which that's what's going on here, where we are trying to get that incorruptible crown, where people are going after the corruptible crown, which is just the money, life in this kingdom in general. Okay, we don't want that. We want the crown of life that YAHAWASHI is offering us through our obedience. Okay, but again, you can't be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to stick to what Esau wants, or I want to get Esau's money, this, that, or third, or whatever," and stuff like that. You have to stick to being a diligent servant of YAHAWASHI. All right, now, Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. All right. So you are choosing. You choose where you want your treasures to be. If you want your treasures to be in the in this kingdom, then that's where these possessions are temporary. But if you want your treasure to be in the kingdom of heaven, that's where they are eternal. An example of this, again, I've spoken on this before, and this is from a dream that a brother had where I was in it. Okay, where what happened with it was that they, and I guess me as well, we were like packing up to leave someplace, and I was basically like, okay, well, I'm trying to fit my. And the thing about this is I've done this before, where I can fit my thing. I can fit my PS5 in whatever. I have containers for it. Like I have normal containers for it, and what he said was when we tried, as in he and me separately, two separate situations, when we tried to fit the PS5 in it, we couldn't do it because there was something like stopping it or preventing it from happening, preventing us from doing it. So it was because of that carnal attachment to those to that it got in the way of us, trying to hurry up and get out and go to wherever the Lord wants us to go. So that's why it's so important to not have these carnal attachments to these things. And that's just one example. All right, where I'll admit I definitely have a strong attachment, which there is some shame in it, of course, to my thing. But of course, I would like to think, keyword, I would like to think that, when it comes to YAHAWAH and His, I definitely would prioritize the Lord over that, which I take the steps to actually do that. All right. But yes, like again, these things are corruptible. Like, oh, that thing could get broken, that can get whatever. The thing with the Lord, like the Lord's gonna have our blessings from in the kingdom of heaven be eternal. All right. So continuing on, Luke chapter 6 verse 24. But woe unto them that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. And that's the thing that's going on here, where these people have received their consolation, or whoever won or whatever, they've received their consolation, where they're getting the money, they're getting the whatever, rather than actually serving YAHAWAH and His to get the blessing from YAHAWAH and His. But of course, that's not always available to everyone. It's only available to the Israelites. But still, the understanding is still there. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 16, for which cause we faint. No, verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding eternal weight of glory. Or we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And again, going back into it, the blessings that we want are the blessings that are eternal in the kingdom of heaven, not these temporary blessings that we can and will eventually lose. All right. And I'm not even mad about knowing that, and I already know that. I already accept that. Okay, yeah, I have my PS5 or whatever, but I'm going to lose it. All right, I'm definitely going to lose it. So Luke chapter 12 verse 16, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground. The ground of a certain man. Wait, no, hold on. Let me go down more in Luke chapter 12 verse. He is over here, verse 20. But Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Yahweh. So again, being rich towards YAHAWAH, serving YAHAWAH, and growing in wealth in the spirit rather than carnality. All right. Now finally, Mark chapter 8 verse 35, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake in the gospels, the same shall save it. And this is again another thing where we are trying our best to get on YAHAWAH's good side, and the Lord is going to provide for us all that we need. So with that, I pray this system was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, SHAMAIWAN, double honor to the elders and apostles, the great millstone of Bud, Shalom.